Hello, welcome to Soulprint Insights. I just want to take a moment. I have some of the most amazing subscribers and viewers on this channel, and your willingness to share your stories and your willingness to reach out to help others as they share their stories. The kindness and generosity of spirit that you show not only to me, and I really thank you for that, but to others within the Soulprint community is really, really touching and heartfelt, and it means a great deal to me and this channel because it really resonates with the purpose and the intention behind the channel. You know, people often think that light workers or angelic beings, those of us on the earth, they often think that we have, I don't know, sort of blessed lives, or because we have these understandings, life must be so much easier for us or less confusing, or we have a higher awareness. But it, in fact, appears to me to be a truth that we are often the ones who suffer the most trauma, who suffer the most pain. Maybe in part because somewhere embedded in our DNA is the understanding that this is really not how things are supposed to be. Maybe it is because we are truly overly sensitive by nature. That's what allows us to do the work we do. And so some of the slings and arrows really, really hurt more profoundly. But we tend not to have the smoothest or easiest of lives. So if you are a light worker or any of the energy workers that are here on the planet doing really important energy work during this time and space, you're not alone. You're really not alone. There are whole communities who really do understand the difficulties and the traumas that can be associated with doing a lifetime of this sort of energy work. So I thought today would be a good time to do another channeled reading from Asudius. And this one is titled, or my question was, how do you heal from past trauma? Like really, how do you get over it? How do you get better? How do you lift yourself back up to a higher state of consciousness, to a higher vibration, to a place more light-filled? Now, I'm going to read this channeled information. I do not want anybody to misinterpret this as medical advice. This is something that was channeled for you to give look at it from a slightly different perspective. It does not replace whether it is a doctor supervised therapy or medications or whatever other treatments that you may or may not be undergoing, okay? This is, again, like a lot of the Asudius information, that sort of 30,000 foot look at traumas and how they impact and affect us. So, again, this is not instead of, this perhaps is just another layer to help in your understanding. So here we go. How do you heal past trauma? The short answer is when you decide that you no longer choose to be a victim of the trauma, thereby removing any energy from the event, you will find yourself starting the healing process. Understand that whether the trauma is recent, from earlier in your life experience, or even from a previous incarnation, it brings with it and holds a vibrational energy. That energy, in turn, can and does impact the now, the present. Let's start with a recent trauma. This could be an accident, an illness, perhaps the passing of a loved one, the end of relationship, an act or acts of violence. First, you must experience your emotional reaction to what happened. And this is usually where the difficulty begins. Many feel that if they block or not acknowledge what has happened, that will somehow not make it real. Within the events of a lifetime, there are insights to be gained, perhaps a new understanding or clarity. Sometimes in hindsight, you can even see the blessing or the gift. That being said, you will never get there if you prevent yourself from feeling the feelings. Most often, it is hurt, shock, fear, humiliation, shame. Whatever emotion it is, or combination of emotions it is, it comes down to you got your heart hurt. And when you allow the hurt to be felt and acknowledged, that painful energy is then released and able to go to the light for transmutation. It is the strength of a tree that allows it to bend in a windstorm. The tree that tries to stand rigid and straight in a storm is the very tree that breaks or is uprooted. Feeling the hurt is the tree bending. This is a time to be gentle with yourself, tend to yourself, pamper yourself. Understand that when doing this, you are reminding body and soul of your value and worth. You are allowing yourself to bring healing and comforting light into your sphere of energy. Next, you may wish to, in the calmness and clarity of your mind, see what can be gained from the experience. And there is always something. It can be that you need to pay more attention, or perhaps there is a need to evaluate the reason that you are in the space you are in. It can be that it is simply time to lovingly say goodbye. Now, the trick to this process is simply to listen to your heart and your mind. Don't clutter up the process by talking, explaining, and justifying. Be still. The answer is often found in silence. And ironically, the silence is often what most people are afraid of. It is helpful in healing trauma to avoid the why me mindset. First, realize that easy and hard, good and bad stuff happens to everyone. It is the human condition. Focusing on the why me is step one in entrenching victimhood. Often, you will not find an answer, or worse, you will somehow come to the erroneous conclusion that it is because you deserved it. Another step in the road named victim. Have you ever noticed that the same or similar event can happen to more than one person at a time, and yet their reactions will be very different? Now, of course, each soul is on their own journey, but often what separates the experience is simply their mindset, their thinking and feeling process about what has happened. Those who believe that they are safe and protected, those who feel they are watched over by loving beings or energies, will often have an easier time of it. Those who are in a place of loneliness and fear can have a much more difficult road. Next in the healing process is deciding, consciously deciding, actively deciding that it is now time to take the learning or the blessing and move forward. Move away from the hurt and into a loving and healing place. This place is located in your heart and your mind. It is that mental decision to not allow the sadness and or hurt to steal away the positive thoughts and energy. It is learning to remove energy from those thoughts and behaviors that no longer serve a purpose and possibly never did. It is remembering that you are a loved and blessed child of the divine, and that you can immerse yourself in that radiant energy and simply let go of that which is now a memory. You can forgive without forgetting. You can find closure with or without the other person. You can choose to embrace the light and push away the dark. And so the healing begins. See yourself healed. Trauma from childhood will follow the same process. However, often the child within you stays stuck in that place of hurt. It is then necessary to find that inner child and help that healing process start. Childhood traumas are often places of confusion, unexplainable hurt, and behavior from others that, frankly, it makes no sense to an adult, let alone a child, who simply by being a child is light-filled and loving. Often a child will blame themselves, or worse, be told that they are to blame for the actions of others. We know this is not truth. Once again, feeling the feelings trapped in childhood and allowing their release is the next step in the healing process. This can often be assisted by returning to the memories of that time, often drawing backwards and bringing forward sense memory can assist. So music or toys, perhaps clothing, may be finding old pictures, will assist in helping to gently return to the place of the blocked feelings and trauma. In healing childhood, the adult needs to remember that gentleness is necessary not only for that trapped child, but in equal measure for the adult you are now. The child within most needs to feel that they are now safe and protected. Assurance that this is so not only healing for the child, but serves to remind the adult that they stand in their own circle of power and intentions. They are in control and able. Trauma from past life is similar but slightly different. The healing process still needs to take place, but it is important to remember that you have chosen to bring back that memory into your current lifetime to heal that event. Many will find comfort and understanding by recalling or finding those pieces from the past. There is past life recall, going into the records. You can meditate. You can connect with someone gifted in the ability to bring forward this information to you. You can find explanations for any manner of fear reactions to certain stimuli. You can understand your fear of water, of flying, of guns. There's sort of no end, right? You can understand attraction to certain places or events. That person who just doesn't know why, but just has to go back to Paris. That person who doesn't know why, but loves the ocean. Caution is given. It can be all too easy to escape into the past, to explain the present, thereby diminishing the present and influencing the future in a way that was not your soulprint intention. Remember, you choose to bring the past forward to allow for healing, not to simply justify or excuse this present incarnation. In terms of overall healing, you live in a time where the earth is populated by many, many souls from the healing temples of Atlantis and Lemuria. So you have many types of healing disciplines available to you. These are the healing benefits to be found in both conventional and holistic healings. You can use energy work, cord cutting, Reiki, laying on of the hands, color therapy, vibrational therapy, music therapy. You can utilize your own healing intentions or work with another. The choice really comes down to your preference. You may need to experiment to find which one or combination of healing methods work for you in any given circumstance. The important message to take from this is that you hold your control. You are the creator of the life you are living. You have at your disposal the healing vibrations of your dimension and of all the other dimensions. Ask and you will find that which is going to assist you in the healing you seek. You can do it alone or with the assistance of others. You can even choose not to heal, and that too is your decision. Perhaps you are still believing that there is something to learn or remember. It is even possible that you mistakenly believe that in the pain there is atonement. Whatever you choose, it is your road, your journey, and it is the path you choose each and every day you move through your physical life experience. We remind you that no matter the choices you make, you are always watched over, ever guided, and sent loving energy. When you ask for help, assistance, or guidance, it will always be available to you. While it is true that you can learn from your pain, it is less understood that you learn from your joy. It is in those higher vibrations of harmony, joy, beauty, and contentment that the highest energy of love is amplified, and that is far closer to the true energy of you. May the blessings of healing be with you. We remain at this time Masudius. Now, I don't have a lot to add to this, but I do have something I want to make very, very clear. Very often, our idea of healing, what healing looks like, what it feels like, what, the impact is going to be, is not necessarily the same as the higher soul purpose or intention for healing. So it is not a matter that you decide you're going to take a look at the trauma, you feel the feelings, you release it, and you decide to focus on the positive and move forward, and just presto magic, things just miraculously shift and change. It is about some things shifting and changing. It is often more about finding the blessings, the lessons, the understandings, and sometimes even the unanswered prayers of a situation. So I don't want anyone to think that, okay, well, I did this and I truly, truly believed I was going to heal from, particularly when you're talking about physical illnesses, that kind of stuff, disease. I believed with all of my heart I was just going to vanquish this. But it is very possible that your soul's higher purpose was not to vanquish, but perhaps to understand, perhaps to gain your own inner strength, perhaps to find a way to live within limitations. So understand the healing that they talk about most often is about your healing your mental and emotional energy and vibration. And I'm not saying that physical healing doesn't take place, because it absolutely does and can. But I want you to keep it in perspective. This really is about the trauma and helping you recover from the traumas, so you understand and see things in a brighter light and perhaps with more clarity. Again, thank you ever so much for sharing your messages and your stories. They're so appreciated. And for all of you who let me know how much you are appreciating this channel and how much guidance and insight and clarity you are getting from the channel, I thank you with a full heart. Those comments just touch my heart in a way you cannot even imagine, because again, that is the intention of the Soulprint Insights channel and the Masudius message. So for now, stand in your strength and stand in your power. I will see you soon. Bye.